team at Women in Product were like, can you come in and do a little preview of your thing before the whole thing starts? And I was like, sure. And they were like, and then you're going to come in and talk to a whole room full of folks and actually expand on the conversation. And so while I have my super awesome deck behind me, let's pop this up, at some point, I'm actually going to take some of the feedback that I got from all of the questions that I got asked after my morning presentation and talk to you about some of the questions that I got consistently and some of the ideas that I shared with people as we were out there, because apparently they were pretty awesome. And do we have slides, please, Mr. Yep, there we go. Awesome. So, as you already know, including Lady Badassery, which I will talk about at the end of this, I'm a bit obsessed about this question, what do you do? And as you saw, it's really hard actually to answer that. And I want to dig in a little bit more now that I have a little bit more time around that question. And I talked about this earlier, this whole question of every decision made about you and your opportunities is made in a room that you're not in. Now, yes, absolutely. When they offer you the opportunity, you get to choose whether you want to take it or not. But ultimately, somebody else does. And part of why I'm actually standing here is because I forgot that lesson. As somebody who got to build a ton of super cool startups, I ended up losing my dream job because I forgot to re-audition for my job when a new CEO came into the company. Now, the good news for me is I was actually kind of done. Because when I actually got over lying on the floor crying so hard that like crap was coming out of my nose, I realized that actually my happy space in companies up until that point was that really slightly schizophrenic phase from like employee 50 to employee 2000, where yes, sort of have product market fit, but it's basically chaos. And I loved unchaosing companies. And weirdly, I left Pandora about 10 days after Employee 2010 started. And I was like, duh, dummy. You actually need to tap in back into who are you and what is your unique awesome and where does all of that sit? And then I would not have been surprised that maybe my time was up at Pandora, which was what the case was. But then I also thought, oh, you dummy, you already know this statement of every decision made about you and your opportunities are made in the room that you're not in. I was actually told by one of my mentors 4 years earlier, I know she wasn't my mentor then, but she became one. She actually scared the shit out of me when we met. When she put her hand on my knee when we were in a meeting talking about, as an executive, what we wanted to be known for, she put her hand on my knee and she went, Joanna, they are not going to let you run ad operations at Pandora when you're 50. You need to figure out who the heck that person is going to be. Put that plan B in place so that it can be your plan A when you're 50. Heads up, I turn 50 next year. I'm British. Good skin. It's all good. I didn't see the sun for many, many, many years. And I talk to now people about this because I think, as women especially, we sometimes aren't given these hard truths. We aren't given these hard truths because we are measured on how much we're liked and how kind we are. Like, I mean, they've got endless pieces of research about little kids where they talk about how boys are so brave and strong, where girls are pretty and cute and aren't they lovely? Like, oh my God, it starts super, super early. And so we're not actually taught to go, that dress is not your dress. It makes your ass look like the size of Texas. Let's pick another one, right? We don't have those conversations. And God forbid you have to have those conversations with a guy. So you are going to find out that I am a super nerd as well as a makeover queen. Here's what happens when you have a conversation with a guy about you and you're awesome and they have to give you feedback. They are already predisposed to be afraid that you're going to cry. Right? You know why? Why? Because when a male human being, somebody with all of the male hormones inside of them, smells tears, and yes, they can smell them, it lowers their testosterone level. And you know what happens next? Because of their conditioning as a male person of our species, they move into a scary, unsafe space, which now means they are afraid of you and what you are going to do next. And how many of you know a guy who's good with putting themselves in a scary space? Yeah, none. Well, if you look me up, you'll also find out that I have a completely insane husband who puts himself in completely scary spaces. He's leaving in less than 30 days to go sail around both the Antarctica and the Americas in 1 year by himself on a sailboat because he's crazy. And I am kind of terrified, but I don't cry. But guys don't do that. They don't like being scared. Here's the other thing that happens when you want to talk about the biochemical thing of that whole thing. So they're officially scared of you crying, so they're not going to give you good feedback because they're scared you might cry. Here's the other thing that most of you don't know is, and I'm guessing you can all follow along with me here, when you're in that meeting and you're really, really, really frustrated and pissed off, and you start to get that tickle in the back of your throat, and those eyes start to do that thing that they do, and you're like, damn it! I am not allowed to cry, because crying is not allowed, because now I know that it's going to make the person across the table from me scared. Well, guess what? The hormones that are going through your body as a female person are actually making your eyeballs leak. That is not crying. I want to redefine it. I'm going to call it eyeball leaking. Right? So eyeball leaking, so he's now afraid, you're eyeball leaking because you're pissed off, and it's just, it's just a whole mess of craziness. So you're like, this is awesome, thank you very much. FYI, the guys, those same hormones in a male body with testosterone want to punch something. I'm sure you've seen it when a guy has gotten mad at a meeting, they usually hit something on the table. I've actually seen a dude hit a wall once, and I was like, break your own hand, go ahead, right? Here's how you can control the situation. You can go, learning opportunity, everybody. I went to a conference. I heard a crazy lady talk about the whole biological part of crying. This is not crying. This is eyeball leaking. Those same hormones that make you want to deck somebody when you're pissed off are in my body, and they're making my eyeballs leak. So just look at this and pretend I'm punching you. Then they'll start giving you feedback. Right? That was lesson number 1 I was not planning to share in here, but I'm hoping, how many of you are going to share this learning with other people? Yay! How many of you are like, I'm totally being more comfortable with crying at work? Eyeball leaking at work. Hashtag eyeball leaking, right? And here's how you can actually help each other, because I do believe in the power of women helping women. Imagine for a second, every time you actually did have that horrible experience, because it does suck, you actually tweeted out hashtag eyeball leaking, and this entire room was like, high five, girlfriend! Be pissed off. Would be amazing. We could change the whole conversation around crying at work. But this whole comes back to this important conversation about you and your opportunities. And how do people talk about you? So what you saw this morning, there we go. What you saw this morning was me do, I'd actually say, a reasonable job of doing a makeover on somebody's introduction. And I want to do it again, and then I actually want to break it down a little bit into what it was I was doing so you guys can write your own. So I've talked here for a while, and I'm now lonely, so who wants to come up and play with me? Who was all like, I want to do a makeover? All right, I see somebody waving violently in the back there. Come on down. Or Blair, are you in the room? No? Oh, damn. She said not call her out. FYI, folks, the woman who... I will absolutely honestly say, put me on this path, and I'd say the entire team at Pandora, so if there's any Pandora folks in this room, especially Pandora folks who used to, come on up, used to work with me, this is also my opportunity to say a big thank you. Because I thought when I went to Pandora, I thought when I went to Pandora that I was really good at building ad technology systems and supply chain systems and yield and pricing and all of those sort of dorky things, right? What they taught me is that I was really good at figuring out why somebody was awesome. And there's a young lady here called Blair Martin, who's running around, who had the courage to basically stalk me early in her career and early in my career at Pandora, and I was like, ooh, who is she? This is really awesome. And she basically laid herself at my feet and said, help me be more awesome. And I was like, well, if she's going to throw herself at me, I'm going to totally do that. And Blair was one of the first people that I tried to do the JoJo magic on. And the fact that she is here and running the product team, one of the product teams at Blend, makes me prouder and happier than I could ever imagine. And so it was one of you guys that actually got me here today. So when you think about that, every decision made about you in a room that you're not in, it's all of the people around you that push you in that decision. And you too, like if this is what you want to do, just pay attention to stuff. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna get all crying. I'm seeing my eyeballs are gonna leak. Although that really is crying because I get all emotional. All right, hi. You're gonna have to tell me how to say your name.
Shania.
Shania? Okay.
That's correct.
And like, what the heck is
DGraph?
Is this one of those we just put a bunch of letters together to make it closely sound like a company?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's actually correct. It's a distributed graph database.
What is that in normal people terms?
It's a faster way to query data and build connections with your data.
Okay.
Like up front as opposed to doing it as an afterthought.
Okay. And I assume for a second that you work in the product team.
I'm the head of product.
Oh. Lady badass right here. Okay, so we're not going to do the normal makeover thing because you guys all saw. Like, was anybody not in the room this morning? A couple of you guys. You have to check in with everybody else who missed out. It was super fun. I yelled about other things. Okay, back to you. Okay, so why did you come up here? What is it?
So I don't know very many heads of product. One of the reasons why I'm here today is to meet other.
Find your besties?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of in this world where, like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I want to be able to speak about it in a way that I don't get the reaction that you just did.
Because that's making me mad. My eyeballs are going to leak in just a second. Here's what's making me mad. You are the 5th person today, who's come up to me and gone, oh, I'm not very good at what I do. I'm not great. Like, I had a young lady, I don't know if you were in the room, you were amazing, who I yelled at. Because she said she was in ad technology. She goes, well, I'm not really very good at ad technology. And I was like, hold the phone here. I was like, how long have you been doing this? I think it was at like Facebook or something. And she said a year. And I said, okay, was there some guy who started with you in the same department? And she goes, yes. And I said, and how long was he saying he needed to be in ad tech at Facebook before he could say he was an expert? And she goes, oh, I think he started saying that before he started. You know when we all talk about that whole we're a bit apologetic and we don't own our awesome and all of that feedback that we hear about women? This is what we're talking about here, people. Now, I am not up here telling you to be a dude. I am up here telling you to be your awesome ladiness. But you run the team.
Yeah.
How many people work for you?
Right now, 10.
You have 10 people.
Well, the engineers also kind of report to me as well. So it's like product and...
That's right, come on. It's okay. Like, I totally get. Okay, so I want you just to do a visualization exercise for me for a second. You need to cheat so that people can see you. Okay. There you go. Right. We've got to pretend we're on stage. It's big, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so there's an asshole on that other shoulder, and it is called... I really should have disclaimers that I swear.
It's fine.
So this asshole is called the Itty Bitty Shitty Committee.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a dude. We hate this dude because that's the jerk that's always saying, no, you cannot say that. You are not good enough. And how dare you think all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just go, gone, jerk. Okay, you're going to put now like a mini me right here.
Okay, nailed it.
Right here. Okay. And she's going to go, yes, you are. Like, everything is a yes. Everything is a yes from now on. So when that voice over here, the asshole, says, oh, do you really think so? Just like tap into your inner Joanna.
Okay.
And just go, I am awesome. I am awesome. I am fantastic. I know what I'm doing. Like, whatever it is. Because you need to believe this first. Okay, so do you know what you're doing at work?
Yes.
Oh! Let's try that again. Do you know what you're doing at work?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you think about, like, if I was your boss and we were having that conversation, well, I actually would let you have that. Well, maybe. Like your boss wants you to be confident in what it is you're doing. I actually think this whole confidence thing is one of the biggest issues as women that we need to fight. Like how many of you go, like say, I have a confidence, like I fight with confidence? Yeah, me too. That's why I started the Lady Badass thing. Because when I started this company, I was like, what the hell am I doing? I know nothing. And I went out looking for other women to inspire me to basically just go for it. And my problem was I kept on finding the same damn people over and over again. And you want Oprah, Ariana, Cheryl, all those people, amazing. But guess what? I wanted some more people. So I went out and found them, and I'm telling you all about them now, and you can go look them up later. But yeah, there's lots of people out there. Plus, all of these women are your people, by the way, the ones that we're seeing up here. Okay. So you came here because you're a little bit lonely.
Yes.
Okay, which is fair.
Yeah.
We are all. But why did you get up here on stage?
Because I realized that there was a problem in how I talked about myself.
Awesome.
And what you said earlier, I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that, so help.
Okay, so now I'm going to focus the questions and how I lead them through, because you'll need to answer these same questions for yourself. So in your world of people that you are trying to influence, when you're thinking about those people in the room that you're not in, who are we talking about?
Mostly an engineering team at this point, and the CEO. I report to the CEO of the company.
How many other C-suite people are in your company?
3. Just me, the head of BD.
You're the CPO?
That's a stretch. But technically, yes. Yes. Yes.
You are not going to come back with this confidence, go to your boss and go, why do I not have the C title if I'm in the executive suite like everybody else?
Okay.
Because what are the other C's that you have in your group? There's the CEO, okay, boss guy. Was it his idea at the beginning? Is he also kind of the product guy?
Yes.
Okay. I thought the comment, by the way, from the woman who talked about the founder product person breakdown was brilliant. That's mitigating that whole issue right there.
Yeah.
That's really good advice there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got the former head of product. Yeah, we really need to influence him. What are the other ones? CFO? CRO? What do we got? What am I working with here?
Business development.
Head of sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
And me.
Okay, so then yes, you should, and is the head of, what is
and
the
then
business?
head of talent. Like head of talent.
So what are the other, what is the talent person and the BD?
BD,
What is the salesperson, head of sales, what's her title?
I guess head of BD.
Is that what they call him? Okay, so the CEO is the only one with a C?
It's the guy.
Okay.
That guy that does
I
all
just
that
want to
stuff.
make sure there's some
that makes
equitability.
sense.
I'm going to quit going down this path. We should chat later.
Okay.
I don't like how this is going. Okay, so back to, but the reality is if you think about actually who you need to influence, it's actually everybody in those chairs.
Yeah.
Because when you're at that, it doesn't matter what level you are within a meeting, who you influence is not only the people who report up into you or the people who work with you, but it's also your peer set. And then it's not only your peer set, it's your management set as well. I think one of the most helpful exercises I did earlier in my career was actually having not a traditional 360 done, but they had somebody ask a bunch of questions of people who reported into me, people who I worked with who were my peers, and then people I reported into. And we didn't actually care so much about what the results were. What we cared about was where there were differences. Do I show up differently to the people I report into as I do to my peers as the people who report into me? And if you think about what really excellent leadership is, if you think about that whole question of what it is you want to be known for, it's being unabashedly consistent. You think about who the people are that you want to follow as leaders, and it's the ones that show up just as much as themselves with the CEO as they do with the receptionist. Not that the receptionist is the lowest job on the totem pole, they're usually the magic in an organization. But it's that sort of breadth and being consistent there. Because if I had shown up here and been anything that I wasn't, I'd actually tried to tone down some of this crazy. You guys would have been all tuned out and walked out of the room. It's the fact that I just own my crazy that all works. So you actually need to influence everybody. I'm guessing, do you have revenue yet? Are there customers?
Yes.
And do you have partners that you do integrations with and all sorts of
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, you've got a huge community of people.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you want to be known for with those people?
That's the problem.
What were you known for?
Getting shit done.
Okay. I'm glad you said this.
Okay.
This is going to be a long working session.
Okay.
Because I had probably about 20 different people come up to me and go, why can I not be a get shit done girl? What's up with that? I told you I was going to go off script. There were 3 reasons. Number 1, congratulations, you all now work for me. I'm an awesome boss, by the way. Ask Blair. What happens if you don't get your shit done? Thank you. You get fired. Why would you want to be known for something you would be fired for if you didn't do it? Okay, that's the easy one. Second one, and now actually I'm going to be able to look. Honestly, and I know I said I played this trick on you last time, but I really want to know. If I said to you, what is one of your core strengths that you would want to be known for, until I just did my little don't get fired thing, how many of you would actually count get shit done as one of at least your top 5? All right, look around the room at how many hands are up. There's a bunch. Not unique. What is Sheryl Sandberg known for? Yeah, number 1 answer I get every time I ask that question. Number 2, dead husband. Number 3, Facebook. And most people don't even know what she does there. Hi, Facebook employees, you should know this. It's a very weird data point, I know. What is Nike known for?
Just do it.
Okay.
Yep, I got it.
You got to have your one thing. Last thing, and this is actually the really important one. So they were all talking about vision and having an opinion and all this stuff. They were totally right up here, but I was like, yeah, but how do you get the vision and have the opinion? No one's telling you that part of it, right? It's like all those people will go, you need to be more strategic, and then tell you nothing about how to get there. I'm like, is it a fairy thing? Like, what the hell? So you think about that whole assigning of projects and what different people do in the company. And there's really 3 things that people do in companies. They either think up the questions that need to be answered, they think about the solutions to the questions that need to be answered, or they execute against the solutions to be answered. Which of those 3 things do you want to do?
The first one.
Right, but you've just told me you're a get shit done girl, which means that you're on the execute against the solutions. What you're known for is this 3rd part of the equation, not the first one. So while, yes, your ability to get stuff done, freaking amazing. Anybody who's a mom in this room, I bow down to your awesomeness. I do not know how you do this. It's amazing. Your ability to multitask, and I know it's not a thing, but it is a thing, is unbelievable. Yes, again, as women, you are all really good at actually getting a whole bunch of stuff done in like a very teeny tiny part of time. But that is why you get the assignment rather than getting to ask the questions. And if you keep being known for being the get shit done girl, they continue to assign you stuff. And I have no doubt every single person in this room wants to be category 1, wants to be people who come up with the questions. And that, my friends, is what strategic is. Okay. I'm done yelling at the room and you on that particular topic. So you're not going to be a get shit done girl now, okay?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, so no more negative self-talk, no more get shit done girl. What else are we going to fix? I'm very excited.
Can you fix everything else?
Okay, so if I was to go to, well, if I went to your boss, would he say that your ability to get shit done is your thing? What would he say? Do you know?
I think he would say that I come up with a lot of solutions. I have a lot of opinions.
Okay. Why did he hire you, do you think?
For my domain expertise.
Okay.
And my energy and my, like, I can't say get shit done, so I don't have a 3rd thing. Okay.
Does anyone here work with you? Do you have any of your team here?
No.
No?
Oh, she knows me in the back.
Hang on, say that again, I can't hear you. Did you hear? I don't understand what she was saying.
My eyes are gonna
say
leak.
those out loud because I want you to actually say them.
She said that I'm thorough, I follow up, And Alicia, what was the third part? I figure things out that I don't know.
How much more awesome does that sound than get shit done, girl? These are like crying tears, not eyeball leaking tears. Okay. Just to differentiate.
Yeah.
So what we actually just beautifully did right there is one of the easiest way. If you're just sitting here going, Joanna, I don't know what I want to be known for either. Go ask people. And actually, go ask your boss. Very important person to ask. But guess what? If what you think you want to be known for and what they think you want to be known for are different, y'all have a problem, right? So go ask them. Now, here's actually the trick for asking them, because your boss is going to freak out when you ask this question. When you go in and go, I went and saw this woman and she told me to ask you, what am I known for? She is going to go, unless they actually know me, if they're either going to have one or two reactions, they're either going to go, you talked to Joanna, didn't you? Or they're going to give you some glib answer because you've just completely freaked them out. You've put them on the spot and, oh my God, they might be crying, right? And so they're probably going to say something like, get shit done, or something like that. Here's what you're going to do. Because you don't actually, you're all like, oh shit, I actually want a real answer here, not a glib one. You're then going to go, that's really awesome. I need to go now, but next time we chat, I'd really like to understand how that is actually valuable to the company. Yeah, can you imagine? That's a ballsy move right there. And then you're going to walk away. You're not going to continue that conversation because they're going to want to answer the question really badly. You do not want another glib answer. You actually want the real answer. And do not hide from that person for about 24 hours because you want them to actually think about the answer. I'm so devious, I know. You want them to think about the answer, and then you are going to go back to them the next day and you're going to go, you know that question I asked you yesterday? What do you think? And what you will have done is by giving them 24 hours to think about the answer, you've also given them permission to change their mind on what it is. And more times than not, this person will actually come back with a non-glib answer and an actual real answer as to what your value is. Now, it might still be you're really good at getting shit done, and then you should have a conversation about maybe we need to change that conversation. But that first step, and what I hope you all do in this room, is go ask people, and ask the people who count, not your mom, because your mom thinks you're awesome. Siblings are kind of great. If your sibling actually understands what you do for a living, ask them, because they have no filter. But only if they understand what you do for a living. But go ask the people that you report into. Go ask people you don't necessarily report into, but know you. Like, I've had so many mentors who haven't been my direct reports, who've been in the senior leadership team, and I would go to them and go, how's it coming across? And they would give me all sorts of terrible feedback, and I'd be like, oh shit, I need to change that, right? But go ask them. Anybody in here from SurveyMonkey? Oh, okay, go SurveyMonkey. Folks at SurveyMonkey and I are working on putting a public survey together eventually so that you can send it out, because somebody at SurveyMonkey actually took this advice and sent the what 4 words would you use to describe me question to 85 people. It was a good day for her when she got all the results back. I don't think she got any other work done. But what I thought was brilliant about Morgan, you can tell where I talked about her today. What I thought was brilliant about Morgan is she got a lot of words to describe what she was known for. And one of them was energetic, enthusiastic. And what she realized is while that word is awesome in itself, she actually wanted to be known for something different and started to think about how does she move that. And that is being strategic about what you were known for and what you do. Okay, I've forgotten all of the awesome words we had over here. So we had thorough,
follow through, and figure things out that I don't know about.
So accountability and figuring things out that you don't know. And I'm guessing your company's fairly teeny tiny?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to be known for those 2 things?
The first, or the teeny tiny company?
No. The follow through and the accountability thing.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good?
Also a little bit maybe of strategy, I guess. I like that you said before.
Sorry, we're going to do this again.
Oh, okay.
This is why I have somebody come up, because basically you give me the fodder to teach the rest of the room. You're gifting your very, very normal errors to the entire room. Okay, how many of the room here would like to be strategic or known as strategic? Yeah, boring. Remember, unique, one of the keys.
Right. That was a lot of hands.
Yeah, sorry. Unique is a biggie, folks. Like, Cheryl is not known for stand at the table and be part of the team. She's known for lean in, right? Nobody else can use those words. It's finding out what is that thing. Okay, so you're good with the follow-through and accountability, but you don't seem super good with it.
I think I'm really good at following through.
Okay, why is that important to the company?
Because we deal with very, very large demanding customers, and they need someone who they can count on, especially if our database is underlying their product. Their products depend on us, and all of the data and all of their customers depend on them. So following through is really important.
Well, so there's a bit of an accountability thing there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And thinking about, like, is that the hallmark to when you're building the products that you actually anchor again as, you know, we're going to be able to really support our large-scale customers?
Actually, no.
Oh.
Our hallmark is our database is all open sourced. So our open source developers and people who use our database for free are really our hallmark. So I build products for other developers.
Okay.
And they get to go out and create other awesome things.
Yeah, but they're a giant customer in themselves, right?
Correct. They are the hallmark, and then the enterprise is
the one that pays the bills, though.
Sure.
Okay. Guys, we're going to have somebody who pays the bills. Okay. Right. I'm not convinced that these are the two things for you. Okay. So if I was if I was trying to do the exercise, which I'm going to do anyway, just so you can see it again, I would absolutely use them, but I'm not convinced that these are the you thing. I'm going to do this. What were you really good at when you were 8? Not what did you get good grades in. What were you really good at, and what did you love to do?
Dance.
Okay.
Which is different than product.
That's okay. And why were you good and loved dance?
I did it for a very long time. I started when I was a kid, and I just continued to dance and grow.
Okay. Is it true that dance is a balance between being an artist and being exacting?
Yes, very much so.
And how is that different from the work that you do today?
Well, when you say it like that, I guess it isn't.
So would it be more fun to say that you want to be known for bringing products to life that dance between being beautiful and being perfect?
Yes. Yeah, sounds good.
I like that one better, too.
That was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, and if you think about the formula, and by the way, I have postcards with the formula with me if you guys need them, but if you think about, remember it was the whole problem solution, you are the solution? Yeah. You'd say when building products, even products with something as uncreative as bits and bytes, there's a dance that you play with these products. It's a dance in making something beautiful and making something perfect, kind of like ballet. And I am what is it, ballet?
What's prima? The prima ballerina?
No, not the ballerina. Who's the person who, the choreographer.
Choreographer.
I am the choreographer at whatever the name is. DGraph.
Yeah.
Which actually means I run product at DGraph and maintain that balance. So that's how you can take what you want to be known for into a problem solution statement. Are you all like, oh my God, how did she do that again? No, just keep listening for the problem that needs to be solved. Why, if I'm a customer, why if I am the CEO of DGraph, would I want to know? That's also way more answering. I like this whole ballet thing. It's nice. Was it ballet, or are you more of a tap or jazz person?
It was ballet and hip hop, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. This is actually one of my favorite questions. So when you work with me and you're an executive, because I do this with all sorts of levels of people, but if you work with me and an executive, because I do think that what you are known for, if you're getting up into the VP and higher levels, becomes so much more important, not only for how do you get the opportunities, but how do you recruit people in? I mean, I don't know how many Facebook people, but how many people at Facebook wanted to go work at Facebook because Cheryl worked there? And you were like, yeah, I want to work with her, she's awesome, or Mark, or whoever. You think about, especially here in Silicon Valley, like executives are the new celebrities. And what they are known for is just as important as what they do. And so really having language around that and a strategy around that. But so my point is, sorry, I was going there, is when I work with executives, this first session, this first conversation is 3 hours long. There's absolutely crying to a person, even a big old quarterback guy who once came in and we did the same thing and we weep. It was awesome. But I have that conversation around who were you when you were 8? Because here's the other thing that I believe with every part of my being. The thing that you are uniquely and specifically good at, you've been good at for decades. And it is so simple to you. What I just described, that balance, you're like, but that's easy. That's like normal, right?
Yeah.
How many of you are like, I'm like a ballerina. I do the balance. Yeah, I don't see no hands this time. Now, I'm sure some of them are like, sort of, but you've got your own version of that. And that's what I'm talking about. Was that helpful?
Very.
Awesome. You
Yes.
were great. Let's give her a clap. Okay. Oh, I totally jumped the shark on the conversation. I talked about robots earlier. We're going to go there. All right. I'm going to speed through some of this because it's important. So what am I looking for? You've heard me yell about this quite a bit in all of your value proposition statements. First of all, uniqueness. You've heard me yell at people already today a couple of times about this. Super, super, super important. I do think authenticity is also super important. Now, yes, when you are still trying to figure out who the heck you are and what it is, you might not actually be right, but you know when it is not you. And actually anchoring in that. And actually, I had a conversation with one of Hillary Clinton's staff the other day, because I said, I have a theory about why there is an enormous amount of people in this country who say there's something about her I just don't like. Now, her staff member and I had an awesome conversation on one's acting ability in politics, which I think she's totally right about. But I also believe that Hillary, when she was the First Lady of the United States of America or the First Lady of Arkansas, was inauthentic as a First Lady. So I don't know about the rest of you, but when she showed up as the Secretary of State, I went, oh, that's who you are. You're awesome, right? Now, you compare that to Michelle Obama or Laura Bush or anybody, they were very authentic as the First Lady of the United States of America. It didn't really fit Hillary all that well, which meant that she kind of wasn't herself with the country for many, many years. Which is why they have this whole, there's something about her I just don't like. And could she have actually solved that problem? I don't know. She was kind of an impossible situation. She was married to Bill Clinton too, which, a whole layer of crazy there. But it's a really, I think, tangible example about authenticity of where it can come back and kick you in the tuchus. The last one is that compelling. You remember how I do the whole problem solution thing? So while this is 100% about you, it's not about you. It's actually about how the other person reacts to you. If you think of both of the people that have been up on stage with me today, especially the one this morning, you went from, she seems nice, to I want to be BFFs with her, because when she talked about herself and when I pretended I was her, we actually were like, why do you care that Vanessa existed? And got you to care about Vanessa first, and then she said, now you can have me. That's what compelling is. That's that whole problem solution. That's what we do with products. Now, the last one is bold, and I put it in the big circle, because I do know that itty-bitty shitty committee, that asshole who sits on your shoulder and goes, they are going to judge you, is a monster. And I absolutely, I love doing this, get scared shitless doing this too. I've got some upcoming stuff that is really scary, and this little voice in my head is going to go, oh my God, they're going to totally judge you. And so in that moment, to be able to be your authentic self, you have to push yourself beyond what is normally comfortable and get really comfortable with it. All right, cranking through the slides, which aren't going. So a couple of other lessons I want you to think about this whole, how do you articulate why you're awesome? What are you known for? How do you answer the question, what do you do? None of this is branding and self-promotion, which I'm sure you're like, wait, what? This all sounds like branding and self-promotion. This is not. This is you all being teachers. Because what you are doing by sharing why you are uniquely awesome in a compelling way that is in a way that the other person goes, ooh, I want that, is you are teaching them how to talk about you in the room that you're not in. So here's some other homework for you when you leave the room after this awesome conference, is when you write your value proposition statement, I want you to go out and practice it with 5 people who know you and love you, especially if they're the 5 people who gave you those words in the earlier exercise. So 5 people who know you and love you. Again, mom, dad, grandpa, and grandpa are off the list because they just love you for who you are, and they probably know too much. I'm talking about professionally love you. Your mentors, sponsors, mentees, perfect people for this. Very specific instructions, and if you want these instructions, by the way, I am at Joanna Bloor everywhere. Ping me, I will send you the instructions. First of all, you're going to say, and you'll see some patterns here, I met a crazy lady the other day who told me I needed to practice how I talk about myself, and I would like to practice on you. That in itself is going to put them in the headspace of kindness immediately, which is what you're going to need, because if they're mean to you, your itty-bitty-shitty-bitty committee is basically getting crack cocaine and is going to go bananas. You do not need that at this point. Okay, so you're going to say, I want to practice. And then you're going to tell them specifically, at the end of this, well, I'm curious about what you think. I more importantly want to know, what did you hear? Then you're going to do your sentence. They're going to have forgotten the question, what do you hear? And you're going to go, 1 second. What did you hear? That is going to ask the person to basically repeat back to you what it is you just said to them. This does 2 things. 1, and probably most importantly, it's going to give you immediate feedback. Hi, you're all product people. I know you love some feedback. It's going to give you immediate feedback on what are people hearing when you say the whole, what is it you are known for? How do you answer the question? What do you do? Very fast feedback. Second thing it's going to do, which is kind of magical, it's going to give the 5 people who know you and love you the most a practice session on how to articulate why you're awesome in that room that you are not in. It's magic. Do that enough, and really magical things happen. Now, I talked about my little quarterback football guy who cried in my office. When we had this whole conversation, he was like, I think you are full of SHIT. And he goes, what are you talking about? His problem was because he was a quarterback. And what I said to him, I said, everybody sees you and your giant self, and they go, quarterback. And all of the, it's a bit like saying to somebody, you are lean in, same thing, all of the trappings that come with quarterback. He is no longer a quarterback. And he was like, I don't believe you about all of this sort of stuff. And I said, fine. I said, do not go out and share your value proposition, but here's what you're going to do. And I said, and if this doesn't happen, then I'm refunding all of the money that you have paid me to do this. And he was like, I'm so in. And I said, for the next 5 business days, I want you to just say the word purple to anybody that you run into as you have conversations in your work day. And I said, do not give anybody, I said, doesn't even need to make sense. Just say the word purple. Say, hey, how you doing, purple? I need to go to the restroom, purple. Like, just say it out loud. And I said, and if anybody comes up to you and goes, what the hell with this purple thing you're doing? I said, blame the crazy lady. And I said, after 5 days, if nothing has happened, then I will back off. Wednesday at 11:20 a.m., my phone rings, and it's my little quarterback friend, and he goes, please, 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 may I stop the purple experiment? And I was like, oh, did something happen? Am I going to keep my money? And he goes, yes, you are correct. And I said, well, what did happen? And he goes, I've had 4 people come up to me this morning who I did not say the word purple to, who were like, what's with this purple thing I hear you're doing? It's that fast, guys. I say that again, so I told you I would talk about Lady Badassery. So I was in a slightly frightening spot. When, for anybody who starts a new company, you will go through this spot where you're like, I had a brilliant idea, and I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't do it. And I went out looking for amazing women to inspire me. And I think we have over 200 women who've been nominated as Lady Badasses. We actually have one here today. They're amazing, every single one of them. But I wanted to prove this same argument with my quarterback friend, that I could do the same thing, not even saying the word out loud, and doing the whole thing on social media. So I said, while you're doing your purple experiment, I'm for 100 days on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, basically gonna put something up that says the word lady badassery or lady badass every single day, which I did. Now, I was also super curious to see, because, you know, I'm a dork, how the Twitter folks versus the Facebook folks versus the LinkedIn folks reacted differently, and they did, FYI. But within less than 30 days, I had friends and acquaintances and coworkers starting to call me the original lady badass. And I was like, well, that is magic. It's about sharing that language that'll actually start to change the conversation in the rooms that you're not in, and actually start to build a strategy around what it is you want to be known for. It's that simple. And it's not bragging, it's teaching. All right, last thing I want to say before I let you guys go is this. I want you all to think about your favorite boss. And I have absolutely every expectation that every single one of you wants to be a favorite boss. Can you imagine them in your head? I'm going to make a bet now that the reason they were your favorite boss is because they were able to articulate what it was that you uniquely do and why it is awesome. Right? So not only do you need to understand what this is for you so that others can figure out how to connect with you, how to engage with you, how to let you be your awesome self, but as you are working with others, as you are working with your team, understanding what their unique value proposition and telling them and having that conversation will create a team of people who not only know why they matter in their work, but why they matter to you. And they will absolutely go to the mattresses for you. They will go to the mattresses for the company. And not only that, but they'll actually work well together better because they understand why they individually matter. I had 300 people at Pandora who pretty much all had the same title. And when I would show up in offices, my EA was fantastic with me about this. She'd send me with a packet with everybody's headshot and their title and their location, and then she would write a little sentence around what was this person's, what did they want to be known for, why did they matter within the organization. We worked really hard at Pandora on that. And it had direct impact in retention. There are people who have been working there for 5, 6, 7 years because they get to do the work that they are uniquely and brilliantly good at. And that is the magic of building teams. So this works in both directions. It's magic, magic. Okay. So I told you could find me at all of the Joanna Bloors. Here's how you can now help me. 1, you know somebody who needs to be highlighted as a lady badass? I have no doubt you do. Go to ladybadass.com, tell us. We're always looking for new, awesome people to talk to. It's very simple. We do all the work. 2, I have so much more I could shout at you guys about. Don't get me started. There's a couple of people who got the now, near, and future conversation. That's a whole other thing. Go to the website, sign up for the newsletter. There's a ton of stuff that we're sharing around this whole idea and how to be awesome. Last but not least, you want to have one-on-one time and help me help you create your unique value proposition. Number 1 question I got after conversations was like this, was, oh my God, I wish I'd recorded what you said. And I was like, no problem. So we built a product where you can get on the phone with me for 30 minutes and we record the whole damn thing. Guess what? Transcribe the whole damn thing too. Send you your value proposition. And guess what? Because it's you, we'll actually craft and give you your unique value proposition. Want me to do it for the team? I can do that too. And you know what? While the conversations are private, I'll share with your leadership team what everybody's unique value propositions, because that whole, why do you want to work for somebody? How do you bring teams together? How does everybody understand why they matter? Everybody gets to do that. I am on a mission to get people talking about why they are awesome and the value that they bring to the organizations, as opposed to how they are robots. Because we start to do that, and a lot of the angst and challenges that we see in this country and around the world start to diminish. Because when we know we matter, we actually can make space to share with others. And that is why I'm here today. So thank you again so much for all of your time and attention.